This coverage at CES 2020 has been sponsored by MSI. Without them, I wouldn't be here to check out all of their new stuff. Outside of the laptops we looked at in my other video, what most caught my eye at MSI's CES event was the new Aegis Ti5 gaming PC. That may have mostly been because it's covered in RGB lighting, but it's also probably due to the unique and interesting design. MSI have of course offered other Aegis PCs in the past, but this one looks notably better visually in my opinion. MSI are introducing HMI with this case, which stands for Human Machine Interface. Basically, there's this dial with an LCD screen on the front of the case which you can use to change settings, view stats, control the case lighting, and more. Otherwise, as you're probably expecting of a pre-built system that looks like this, it's available with top-of-the-line specs, including up to Intel i9 CPU, 128GB of memory, and NVIDIA RTX 2080 Ti graphics. We've seen in previous MSI pre-builts on the channel that heat-generating components are in their own separate areas. The CPU, GPU, and power supply are split up so heat from one doesn't affect the others. The new Aegis takes this a step further and also separates motherboard VRM cooling too. The HMI concept extends over to MSI's new MEG381CQR gaming monitor too. This is a 38-inch ultra-wide Quad HD 144Hz IPS panel with a 1 millisecond response time and 2300R curve. And while that's cool and all, personally I was more interested to see how they've added HMI here. Basically, there's a small OLED panel down the bottom left of the screen with a dial that also acts as a button. Like the Aegis PC, you can use this to view system stats and change settings. In this demo, it was hooked up to the PC, so you could use the dial on the monitor to change the lighting of both the screen and the PC together, for example. So a pretty interesting idea that I haven't seen elsewhere so far. Speaking of monitors, they also had the MEG342CQR, a 31.5-inch 1440p 144Hz VA panel with 1 millisecond response time, though this one had a much sharper 1000R curve. Personally, I thought it was a little aggressive, but who knows, maybe I'd get used to it actually sitting in front of it and using it. There was also a new 240Hz external display that connects over Type-C. They had a GS66 connected to it with a tablet on the side as a demonstration, so I guess if the refresh rate of your laptop isn't great, attaching an external monitor like this could be useful so long as your machine has the horsepower to spit out high frame rates. You could of course use a larger monitor, but this is definitely more of a portable setup that would be useful for a laptop. Outside of those new products, MSI are also introducing quite a few new updates to their Dragon Center software. If you're after the details, you can check out the livestream I did of the keynote presentation, as quite a lot of the time was dedicated to that topic. Let me know which of these new pieces of tech you're most interested in. Personally, I'm interested to try out the Aegis Ti5 and see how the VRM cooling chamber works, as that's something new. And despite being a pre-built system, the design is honestly pretty cool. And finally, if you're new here, you'll definitely want to get subscribed for the rest of my CES 2020 coverage.